6, the beard gets it. And they tried to call my bluff. All right, let's get this.
But some of the favorite teams, they were too stubborn to follow the narrative. It's day 2 of our Swiss stage, and to help me unpack all the stories and the details of today's matches are two international
Can you guys still hear the commentary?
legends and M-Series mainstays. Nothing ever overpowers the man to my left, except for Pineapple's the Pride of Indeed. Leo, how do you feel about yesterday's matches?
I watched it from the comfort of my hotel room, and by the way, Moonton always takes care of us. I am feeling great. Today, I am flush with excitement. Day 2 of the Swiss could not have treated me better, just the way you did, brother.
I'm very happy that you're joining us here
I'm
today.
flattered.
And yes, nothing ever overpowers Gideon Q as well.
I love how loud these suits are, bro.
And phone scammers. Gideon Q,
This is what I want to see.
How are you feeling going to day number 2?
Woo, digging deep on this one. Honestly, I'm feeling really, really good. I expected day number 1 not exactly to go the way that it did, but at least it's a wake-up call for all teams across the globe that honestly, there is no weak region anymore.
Yeah, the world has stepped up to the plate as we aim to be greater than ever. By the way, Renmar Santa Cruz, just call me Renmar, and I like getting overpowered sometimes. So, experience
What?
the thrill of gaming in real life.
I love this dude.
Gaming and Esports District, every detail is a celebration of play and entertainment at Kidia Gaming. We've heard a lot about Kidia.
Can you guys hear the casting in the background a bit?
More details about that
Is it all right?
online. So, yes, we've touched on it a little bit. Yesterday was, as the kids would say, kind of nuts. With all of the results
Kinda
that we
nuts?
had for our very first Swiss stage ever, it was just a whirlwind of surprises. At the tippy top of your memory right now, Leo, what's the most surprising thing that happened for you?
No cap.
I can
think
understand.
the
Maybe
opener
his
wherein
maybe he likes his
discovered
sleeves
exactly
being
how
shorter.
strong S2G is. I think that alone set the tempo and our expectations for the days to come. Because if I'm not mistaken, after that victory by S2G, which was close, by the way, I think you'll agree with me, Gideon, when I say it was a back and forth, every other upset became more and more a reality.
Well, more and more of reality is a bit of an understatement. I think everybody was a little shocked to see. Some of the kids, they call it a little skibbity these days as well. Because, again, most times, on paper, the stronger team should win.
On God.
On God.
On God.
But that just wasn't the case yesterday. And I have to agree with Leo that S2G really showed off their guns this time around against SRG. Of all
I don't
teams.
agree
I
with them
wish SRG
saying
wasn't on
that
other side
the
anymore,
stronger
but
teams
that
didn't
makes the
win.
game even more exciting.
If you won,
It
you
wasn't
were the
just
stronger
S2G
team.
that brought
It's like
the Riz to the very first day of the Swiss stages.
we're trying to
Other
play
teams
off these
as well
fucking upsets
popped up
yesterday
and
as
showed
luck.
up to the plate. BTK taking down Ulfidnar, Falcon taking down Rora, so many more happened yesterday. With all those faces, who are the ones that really stuck with you there, Gideon?
For me personally, obviously I have to say SRG, but I also have to bring up CFU. These guys, again, really, really interesting, right? Because again, I was expecting NIP Flash to really put up a good fight this time around, but it looks like CFU has not only grown, but are showing, hey, we're not just an aggressive team anymore. We've got some smarts alongside with it.
I'm glad that you mentioned
What's up with all the colors? I love the colors, dude.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, we got one CFU member.
Yeah,
in there.
I understand saying that the favorites didn't win, but when they're saying that the better teams didn't win, like that's kind of a backhand.
Breaking records. As perfect as it is in their debut match in M6. What was that? 1,000 plus in the jungle.
Yeah.
And the first to hit level 15 the fastest.
Yeah, at around 9 minutes, that's how fast King Kong hit level 15. So that was the
Damn,
insanity that
Aurora
happened
getting
yesterday
fucking
on the
stopped.
left corner.
Bro,
That was the first
Fnatic
big
Onyx, bro.
evil once that we
Oh, they
saw
fucking
the
put the
aforementioned
boots
performance of King
to
Kong
fucking
happen
Team
in the
Liquid.
Titans against TLID.
I watched it a little bit yesterday.
Match by Gideon, CFU versus NIP Flash, wherein at one point
I didn't watch
the winner of
KBG
NIP
though.
Flash had like,
Was the
what,
KBG
12
RRQ
50+
game
kills?
close, or was it like a fucking stomp?
It was Shinji Sing on that Bruno to pop off.
Please
Here
bring
we
back
are
the beard.
at the top
I don't
and at
know.
the bottom, the 1-0, the 0-1 brackets. Maybe outside of the Malaysian matches, Gideon.
Okay, KBG did horrible.
Obviously, I'm going to be really excited for S2G's again performance against BTK. Obviously, I got to see how far this team is truly going to go. But the second one that really excites me in the top of that bracket, RRQ versus
Damn.
Team Spirit.
Oh.
Again, drafting is going to be one thing, but even more so, How brawly is it gonna get?
That's what a lot of people are going to be watching out
All right, my predictions.
meta that we find ourselves
BTK,
in. BTK, well,
Falcons.
BTK. We're going to touch on that a little bit later.
Damn,
The
that
very
third
first
match.
had a very poetic
Dude,
start. We're
both
gonna
those
see
teams.
Falcon versus Twisted Minds, a
Wait, these aren't the winners. Argentina didn't win.
Who found success abroad.
Am I dumb?
Cannonball versus Vamos, NAP Flash versus Aurora. In the second set of matches that we're looking to see later today, any stand-up?
Oh, they're splitting them up. Boo! I thought we'd have all the winners in the first 3 hours. I'm gonna have to watch some of these at work. That sucks. Wait, what is going on here?
Esports make it to the grand finals of MSC earlier this year. Is that not a match you want to see?
Yeah, I remember the reactions.
It's
behind the
mixed.
scenes
Yeah,
when
Vamos is
we saw
losers.
SRG get drawn
I don't care about their. I don't care about them.
A lot of groans, honestly, because
I wanna see-
they were the team. That roster, though they at that point they were called Fireflux, they almost eliminated SRG in the mid-season cup early this year in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. But now we find ourselves in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and it's time for the hot first game of the day. Yeah, hopefully you were there when we got to hear the comments of Hoon. But before we get into that, I think it'll be great to touch on S2G. What for you, Leo, was a standout thing with S2G's performance?
I am happy to say that I was right.
Bro, I don't want to see Fred again today.
When you talk about Turkey,
Dude.
you always just think about,
Dude, I love that fucking shirt, dude. Man, you guys just don't understand, like, the style. I love this fucking bright-ass color fucking suit, which is plain, and then everything else is, like, accentuated to make it stand out. The plain fucking coat, and then this fucking outstanding-ass, like, pattern on his suit.
First match. BTK could be known as
On his actual t-shirt. Oh,
Slayers. They took down Ulfadnar yesterday.
Leo always looked good.
Well, I know they're going to be hell-bent on trying to take down S2G. You know,
Same thing with
feels
this guy,
sometimes they don't have enough
the guy in the
rivals
pink.
international stage, even though they're
Oh,
already
Shannon.
renowned.
I would say they were more closer and more.
I already forgot his name. I'm so stupid.
At this point, right? I mean, if S2G
I've
is
just
able to
cast
put up
with
a good
Leo
fight,
before, so I know.
expect them to put up a really good fight.
What's going on,
At the
Aki?
very least, BTK has something that's going to challenge them, because so far their previous game, based on what we've seen so far, it looks good. Yes, it looks a lot cleaner, but at the same time, can they push it even further than that?
Any of my NA brethren, are you guys going to be going out for Black Friday?
Happy Thanksgiving.
I sure as fuck
our
ain't.
North American brethren out there.
But today is also Black Friday.
Ooh, wait, it's the day of sales, right? Like,
Yeah.
Leo and Naisu always have the best suits.
So what
I
if-
think Leo always has these
Let me just
fucking
paint the
very
picture.
fashionable
SG
suits.
takes it,
Naisu
and
just,
I'm thinking like an hour later, right?
I don't really
And they get
think
that
his
first
suits
match in a
stand
few
out.
rows.
I think it's just
One of
because
the
he's
SG
fucking
players
Naisu
go,
and he can make anything look
"Happy
good.
Thanksgiving."
Oh shit, let's get some gobbles in the
Like,
fucking
who
chat.
gets the better deal at the end. One of the things that Ulfadnar can, or excuse me, S2G can mention
Oops.
at the end of
What'd I do? I broke it.
review if ever they get to win against BTK. But yeah, I think a lot of people were shocked by the performance of BTK, not mainly because of one thing. They broke down the Fredrin.
Honestly, that's not too surprising. Especially now, we're seeing people at the very least being a little afraid to whip out the assassins. Now it's no more, oh, we have such a big priority pick that we have to worry about. Jushin obviously is still in that position, but Ling, Hayabusa, even Suyo dropping down.
Gideon or Reptar. This has to be Reptar, I think. Right? Or is that Gideon? I don't remember.
You look into some words from a member of S2G. Begin says here, when they won MTC, he didn't tear up, but after beating the MSC champions, he teared up due to his unsatisfying performance and the mistakes he made in the early game. It was a roller coaster of emotions of that game number 1, and I think it's more warranted that S2G were emotional afterwards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Reptar
I'm pretty
is
sure
short
that
sleeve,
yesterday
Gideon is pink
was the
suit.
culmination of all their hard work, because for the longest time, S2G has been standing in the shadow of Fireflux, in the shadow of Ulfednar, and now that the
I
spotlight is on
love
them,
I
and they were
love
able to get
Gideon
that big
and
upset
Leo's
win.
energy.
I understand why the young
I feel
man
like I
Gideon
match most with
actually
them.
cheered up.
It's actually pretty funny to think about it.
I
right?
love
Because
what they
being in that
bring.
shadow, for the first time, they get to say, sit down, big brother.
And well, for S2G now, I feel like it's the best chance for them to revengeance? No. Avenge. There, thank you.
You said
To avenge
revengeance?
The loss of their brother team, and of course, in case you forgot, Siggy Boom is the actual brother.
One
of
day
the
private.
Apex
I know.
47. Out of how many siblings again? It's like 10 plus.
But, you know,
Like
there's-
11? There are 11 siblings. Someone mentioned this to me, like 11 of them in one of those
to a
family.
dozen.
Close to a dozen. Yeah, but well, that is 11. But yeah, it's a big family, and 2 of them are esports pros in the global scene. So now, if you are BTK, Gideon, are you gonna go into this and say
there's a giveaway still going on today, but there's no BTK jersey today because Private Dancer's not rich. We're doing skin giveaways today.
This time around, we're seeing that a lot of teams, well, we're seeing 2 polarizing
And press
sides,
exclamation
right?
point giveaway for the details.
You are going to slow the game down until you can play towards that end game scenario where there's a lot more free flow and adaptation on the fly. I think we've seen S2G kind of play a little bit of both, but generally, when we are looking at the fundamentals, purely from a fundamental standpoint, I think that BTK might just have this in the bag.
Yeah, I double down. To be more specific, I want BTK to hit it like Tyson. I want them to be aggressive. Because of all the teams that we've seen, I think they. I picked this up from a content creator on YouTube, one of the more informative ones, Yunji, if I'm not mistaken. It's mastery over meta. Yeah. Despite what's happening in the greater landscape of MLBB, if you know your heroes well and you know
He said random ass guy one. You're all random ass guys to each other.
In their debut match.
Yeah, so maybe BTK go for the ear, you know. They have an ear fixation, if ever. So, gentlemen, we kind of practiced this.
Said I missed the jersey giveaway. Yup, you sure did.
Popsicles. So, what's it gonna be? S2G or BTK? I will start off the festivities. For me, my prediction, it's BTK. I'm in on the. I'm in on the hype wagon, man.
Really? You didn't vote BTK yesterday.
They may or may not have promised me a jersey, but I am in on the hype wagon. I've seen enough from BTK. They're ready for this, and they're ready to, I feel like, be a team to get in the heads of another team that will look to be the aggressors, as you mentioned.
I don't know about that one. I want to say yes to BTK. Yes, I did mention that the fundamentals have been looking extremely good. More importantly, so their form has been looking great. Personally, for me, I gotta go with the boys of S2G this time round. They put a strong game against SRG, and I think if they just play it a little, you know, add a little polish, bit of varnish, rub it over a little bit, get that nice little glossy shine, S2G will take this.
All right, this may be a double-edged sword, but I'm gonna predict for the Crows. Number one is because I really want to see them hit that momentum stride. I want to see them go further and prove themselves. But also,
how dare you, Leo?
I think this would be good for BTK because BTK are they're proven to perform well under pressure. So if somebody doubts them, somebody as close to them as I am, they're gonna go, Leo, we're gonna prove you wrong. Zia's gonna look me in the eyes, Manong, I got you. I'm gonna beat him.
Did you call me Manong?
Oh yeah, no, it's like older brother in Ilocano. We're both Ilocano.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know Manong was like old man, but I didn't know that was older brother. That's very cool. All right, so it's time to.
Did you just call Leo old man?
Teams. Let's start off first with a slate to stay Turkiya Kings of S2G. Here they are. I'm pretty sure Sigmund's going to be in there, right? Oh, yeah, the Turkish Trigger Man is 100% there.
Yes, of course. One more player I think we have to note is Kazue. Yes, he did bag the MVP performance last night, yesterday, morning, afternoon for some of y'all watching from around the world. But you see how he did not die on that Suyo? And even sometimes how deep he would be? Like under.
Yeah, we can't give up Suyo this time. I don't want to see that shit.
Trying to find Innocent. This young man does not pick fights.
I don't think Fredrin, like, could you imagine if they had picked Suyo instead of
America, bang again. It's BTK up on your screens. Gideon?
Look, I gotta mention, Zia, Sharp,
what's up, Princess? How you doing, girl?
Are doing really, really well as a unit. But the big standout for me yesterday, and especially the transition from early, mid, and as well as late, I think I gotta point out Fly Chicken because again, the composition that they played yesterday with the Fredrin, most of the time people are gonna be like, it doesn't have enough damage. Where did that damage come from, especially early to mid? And it came from that Arlet. How many triggers did he get? How many plays did he make in that game itself? I think that Fly is something you gotta keep your eyes on, or maybe even target in the draft, limit that pool.
I fully agree with that because it was.
We're not getting Louis this time.
Fly Chicken needs to end up with a hero that is active around the map, that is proactive in setting up plays. And his final slash, he landed 3 very clutch ultimates as an Arlot to set things up or even finish up a fight for BTK.
I think it's the heroes that can make use of his Twitch reactions. This young man, he's got great game IQ, game sense, but I think it's more of just a sudden snap, the clutch that Fly Chicken can take advantage of.
All right, I gotta ask, gentlemen, which one of you do a better MOBA Zane impression?
You want to try?
Oh no! I mean, I'll just talk the way that I talk, right? In the past, I tried to rejoin Hoon and Shrek, but they kept saying no. I had to beat them a few times. I left the previous org because they kept
Motherfucking
Zane.
I had to beat them a few times.
And he asked them about what made him reunite with Hoon. Very valid. Very valid.
That is a very valid concern. But now I'm pretty sure Mobazane is definitely feeling like he's in Cloud9 with him being here on the world stage.
Oh yeah,
he's very happy about
he's
it.
at home with his Ohio brothers right now. Like this stage, this is what he's used to. I think Miracle mentioned how this is a very M3 feeling tournament. That's where they kicked a lot of butt.
Yeah, and let's see, if they continue their trend of beating Turkey teams, maybe then they can say, oh yeah, it's back to M3 form for us. By the way, the MLBB Rising Open QR codes are there on your screen. You can also use the MLBB spec. It's gone now.
I got it.
You got it? I didn't.
I scanned it with my ROG phone.
You already got the 9?
Fast. It's that fast.
It's that fast? Oh, okay. Let's go into the drafting phase. As fast as the ROG Phone 9, it is time. And what are the main picks that you're looking out for here in the very first phase?
Oh boy, I think a lot of the main picks, it's really tough to say because based on what we saw yesterday.
This is an elimination round. What are you talking
An
about?
integral part of the Swiss stage. As good as your fundamentals are, you need to create an advantage for yourself.
Fuck.
I think that right now, from S2G, I really want to see how deep their pockets
There's
are.
the Suyo.
We're already seeing first pick Suyo.
Are we gonna counter this?
You mentioned it yesterday.
Siggy Bum went deathless last game.
It's not blue side, red side. It's the following picks that matter a lot more.
Yeah, and the follow-up to the Suyo, it's the Bruno from BTK and the Eve. I feel like for a very strong team fighting team, those are great picks. But I love that they prioritize the Matrix on STG.
Matilda, where's the Matilda?
Kaka?
It's gotta be.
Hopefully.
It's open.
Oh, by the way, Turkish Trigger Man gets it.
See? Back to back. Signature picks. It's gotta be. Come on, Pagu.
I think they have to decide between the Chone as well as Matilda, right? Both providing two different use cases, but at the same time, we've seen how Cho has been devastating games. You got it right on the dot. It's
All right, we need the Cho.
This time around, they prefer the mobility.
Yeah, the first 3 picks of S2G Scream. Yeah, we heard what you said, and we're kind of pissed off about it.
Bro!
But hey, my theory is right. I said BDK yesterday. You know what? Go ahead and pick the Fredrin again if you can. And it's a great lineup for a Fred to shine, honestly.
MOBA Fred.
MOBA Fred. Best part about that is just because, oh, you have a Matilda, I'm going to lock you down just enough so you lose out of the guiding wind.
Ooh, okay. So let's see if that Fred will do well here. Wait a minute. Mobazane's actually half Turkish? That's a fun fact for you.
Maybe from his mom's side. I remember him having this conversation with him.
Whoa. So hopefully we get to hear Mobazane speak and drop some Turkish phrases from time to time. I don't know, maybe.
That fist bump is going to be real awkward.
Yeah, it's like S2G's going in there expecting like, we'll speak to him in English. Like, wait, did this man just speak to us in Turkish? Okay, so Glue gets taken out by BTK, and honestly it makes sense when you have a tight formation around an Eve, around a Fred, and a Bruno. A hero like Glue can mess up formations. You'd rather not go up against that.
Yeah, Glue in the past 24 hours of Swiss has become a breakout hero alongside the Grangers, alongside the Joys, suddenly becoming more and more in demand.
What do we got? XP out there? We still got Phovius out there, right? Khalid is still out there, but you don't really want a Khalid. You don't want something that's going to invade Fredrin.
That they're looking to set up for maybe even a Phovius. There's already plenty of dashes on top of the Matilda as
Phovius is
well.
going to be the big thing.
Banning out the Arlet and as well as Cho, really good stuff coming in from S2G.
Yeah, now you take away a very proactive EXP laner that could fall into the hands of Fried Chicken.
Who do we have proactive for Fried Chicken? Charizla?
Instead of going for something tankier,
Katakacha is not really great. Phovius, all right.
Yeah, somewhat duelist in the Phovius as an EXP lane.
Easy triggers off of the guiding winds.
Yeah.
Whatever you end up in the XP lane for
Farming
Lunars
speed?
could be,
Well,
50-50
farming speed will be an issue, but Fredrin doesn't need the same amount of farm that Suyu does. So he can do more with less farm.
Oh, okay, it's true. It's true.
That's the only saving grace.
But I think that he's a very unique hero in the way that you play those clutch moments because it happens so quickly. You have such a small iframe.
And it lasts so long.
Exactly.
He can live right in your face, close up the gap. I see.
This means 100% of the last pick for BTK. I think they're going to go tanky again, especially for their roamer here. You have 3 tanky frontliners because you're not going to make the Fred go frontline. The Phobies cannot frontline alone. The Phobies need someone else with that. So Edith is the pick here for S2G. Great pick. Shark is proficient with that hero. Paired it up with an Eve that could have been a nightmare, so they take it. And they take the Valentine as well, covering their magic damage bases. It's a well-rounded lineup for S2G, but it is the Guinevere of Shark.
Guinevere, huh?
Interesting. This is really interesting because Hylos would have been the perfect pick, but it already got banned out by S2G because of their foresight. With this Guinevere, now you have 3 triggers for the real world manipulation to pop off.
I feel like we're gonna be seeing a lot of brawls, a lot of fights here for this very first one. So, Ingon and Naisu, take it away.
Thank you so much, panelists, breaking it down. The new version of the We Bear Bros. Now, welcome to the caster desk. What is up, guys? I'm Naisu, and joined with one of the newest additions, just like we saw yesterday. We had Brigida. Now it's Ingon. Ingon, how we feeling, man?
Daddy, I feel great. I'm excited to be here. The venue's awesome, and of course, the first match is gonna be so hyped up.
It's gonna be hyped up, man. You know, day number 1 was quite the interesting opening day. I think good luck to everybody's guest coins this time around because I know mine were in shambles, but to kick off day number 2, I can't wait to see what unfolds for us. Jumping into the Land of Dawn shortly to see how the day gets started. It's S2G and BTK to break things down and get things started. I'm wondering, you know.
All right, they're gonna help Fred with the first.
Zane has brought out an old pick of his that actually worked out really well yesterday.
MOBA Fred.
It's
Yeah.
the Fredrin again.
And actually, this boils back to Leo's point a while ago, wherein he said that it's all about mastery instead of the meta. If this is MOBA
Wow, he
Zane's
actually
mastery,
cleared
why
before
not? And
Suyu.
we're up against a Joy, and this time it's up against Suyo. So let's see if BTK alongside MOBA Zane can actually pull things off once again.
You know, I think at this point, too, you have to be able to watch out for this. But also, you guys watching at home, you guys got to watch for the M6 pass because it's now available. You can complete all the active tasks during the event to hit level 75 for free. Get amazing rewards, including Claude's battle emote, the M6 Glory Avatar Border, Baksha's battle emote, and the new
they're invading.
Baksha Dauntless Shield, all for free. So make sure you guys go ahead and grab that because the action already starting here once again. Early rotations too, you know, Egon, what we expected here with S2G. I know right away when you look at even the emblem sets being put into place, this lineup from S2G wants to move around fast. They want to be able to rotate quickly. They want to be able to even utilize the
You gonna stay for
pick.
Team Liquid
You know,
Indo? Is that happening within the first 4 hours?
Okay, Boon Flicker up, but Shark goes in with a spatial migration. BTK won't commit to the fight alongside S2G, and looking at the emblem, Zia actually has the Master Assassin, so he's confident going up against Sigiboom down to the laning phase. But the thing that bothers me, or the thing that concerns me rather, is the Guinevere roam. We've seen it. Renege used it up when Aurora played yesterday. The problem is the range of the spatial migration. Even if you paired it up with the flicker, it's going to be hard, especially up against a Mathilda. So it's really easy to predict by S2G when spatial migration is going to be casted. But look at this, Bloodthirsty King going on
Nice.
right now by Chicken with the Infernal Pursuit as S2G works on the turtle.
All right, they're going to start it up. I think they're going to break out a fight.
Oh, beautiful Earthshatter combination! And Kazooie gets the first turtle, but Shark wants to answer right back with a kill onto Lunar. Pagu is safe. And that's a trade BTK is willing to take, transitioning
Nice.
right away to getting that orange
We
buff.
lose a turtle, but we're invading their jungle. That's what I want to see.
You know, the objective going in the hands of S2G, not too bad, but BTK, they won't.
And
let
we
it
got
just
a kill.
be, you know, resulting into that. They get a kill on Lunar. They end up taking a buff from that, and they'll go ahead and get back into the rotation. Always that first turtle is kind of up in the air. You know, you don't have to completely secure it because you know you still have that second and third coming up. And with a lineup like this, you know, that's something that we can talk about and break down even further. With BTK's lineup, it's kind of a slow burn. I mean, talk about how successful this Bruno pick has been. I think he's, what, 75% win rate right now? Something insane.
6 out of 8.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see it banned out, you know? But in this case, the fact that you just want to go ahead and have that build up on this Bruno, Zia is going to be in a good, you know, situation where then he's able to pop off later on, especially into when Hoon sets up the real world manipulation. Now, if you missed the game yesterday that BTK played, you know, they almost got to a point where the game kind of got a little shaky, almost got a little scary if they were actually going to be able to close out the game. So I hope that they were able to go ahead and kind of adjust themselves for this game as mistakes can turn things around so quickly. I think that's one of the most deadly things about our current Swiss stage format, you know? This best of one.
Whoa! Dark managed to find a pick off, but still managed to escape here. No kills.
Are we gonna be able to punish him for this, though?
Wow. And this is what we were saying, as a real-world manipulation will be casted by Big, and here comes Pagu. So still, no casualties, 4 minutes in.
Here's the thing, though, that I'm kind of like, all right, you got the spatial migration, but we're not able to punish them because they've got guiding winds. They can get them out of harm's way every single time.
Even for Lunar, he's gonna be careful.
Oh my God, and Zia!
Okay, so that's the reason why you pick a Tenacity instead of a Master Assassin, because if you have a Master Assassin and you're going one-on-one laning phase and you lose that fight, it's going to be hard for you to come back. Shark manages to find one again with spatial migration, but Begin, quite sneaky, manages to escape as Kazue will get the second turtle.
All right, second turtle, Kazue able to secure that one. And like I said, it looks like, you know, BTK, sometimes it looks like they want to fight, but then they don't just have enough damage just yet. And going back to the point, what I was saying with best of ones, you know, this is where it gets a little spicy. Because if you get kind of knocked down in your lane, especially the gold lane, which we know has been so vital for a lot of team success throughout this new kind of, well, it's not new anymore, but this meta that has formed itself since that patch and the changes, the gold lane is going to be very crucial, right? Yeah. And you don't want to die in those 1v1s. I wish we got a picture of it with Siggy Boom, but, you know, what a play. And, wow, did that actually get taken? I don't know.
Oh, Siggy Boom!
Again?
You can almost feel the damage because he picked up his first item, Blade of Despair, compared to Zia with the Haskell. So you know.
Damn, he's got BOD already?
Prioritization. Zia is really behind compared to Siggy Boom.
We're down by 1K.
Zia's not having a good time, man. You know, I guess you don't bring a soccer ball to a gunfight. Look at this.
Oh, and they're bringing Kazua with him to bring down Shark and try to bring him down. But Shark, quite sneaky, will be able to escape. But look at the pressure S2G is putting on BTK. They're actually going to take down a first-tier turret up top.
Almost there.
Forcing a reaction coming in from BTK. So almost there for S2G.
They didn't get the turret. They're nearly there, though. And you're seeing how much pressure can be put up from S2G. Just based off the fact that, you know, again, even if Biggin has the real-world manipulation himself, it kind of gives them that threat in terms of space. But then they have the mobility factor too because they have a Matilda. And it's kind of getting difficult for Bloodthirsty Kings to be like, you know, how do we approach this fight? How do we actually engage here? And that's why I was saying earlier, you know, they need a lot of time to kind of build up, get to a point. Third turtle's coming up here. And I don't know, man, if Bloodthirsty Kings can actually win this fight for the objective, that'd be great for them to set up into that first Lord coming up. But right now, it's just S2G, knowing they have this minor advantage, nothing too crazy. About 1,500 gold. It's going to be started up, though, by Zia. Rest of the team's going to make their way. Mobazane as well. And this is where we expect,
he chunked Mobazane.
Fredrin pick to shine. But look at the angles that are going to be set up here from S2G. Half health. Mobazane doesn't want to fully commit just yet. They might rely on Shark to jump in.
All right, what are we going to do?
Okay, goes in with the Earth Shatter onward combination plus the flicker. Here comes Shark with a beautiful spatial migration onto the backline. Bracer drop coming in from Mobazane, but Lunar will get the turtle plus a kill.
Oh, this one might be over, dude.
BTK to retreat.
Ooh, and just like that, that's 3 for 3 in the turtle department for S2G.
Dude, fucking, I'm
more at this point. BTK, they tried to make something happen, but
you can go in for the spatial migration, but you're still squishy as fuck, dude.
Got the knock up, and right now Siggy Boom really trying to work on this turret. I don't think it's going to get capped out just yet as Mobazane will clear it out, but the bottom goes down, so this is that shift in momentum where now you got all the turtles, you're starting to get these turrets down, and BTK will be kind of scrapping to find what they can.
Look at that lineup, it's going to be hard for BTK. I mean, it's like you're forced to initiate first, but the problem is with the presence of the Matilda, S2G can just re-engage at any given moment.
Yeah, I don't agree with the with some of these picks against the Matilda.
Always connecting. So at this point, BTK, they're just gonna have to.
There had to have been a better pick.
And wait for Zia's power spike to shine through later on towards the late game.
You know, that's the thing when we look at this lineup again is like, when is that power spike gonna happen? You know, when is this gonna be? When are they gonna come online for BTK and for Zia specifically? You know, he still needs quite a bit of time to build up because not only is he gapped a little bit in levels, but he's got to catch up on gold. This tier 2 is actually close to going down. At least Zia was able to push down on the bottom side, but ultimately, this is leading to a place where S2G is going to have a good advantage when it comes to Lord Take. Now, all it could take is Shark to get a proper setup.
Oh, like that one on to begin, but he's not going to fully commit it because S2G is ready to respawn. Okay, BTK, Zia just picked up his Malefic gun, so in terms of counterattacking, he's actually quite able to do that, plus the proper positioning needed to do the free hits onto S2G Esports. But the problem is they have a lot of initiations. I mean, Lunar has been phenomenal with the Edith. Even without the flickers, Earth Shatters keeps on connecting. And look at BTK, they had the initiative to go first with the setup, but with the presence of
Yeah, and Matilda's gonna have Flask soon.
Decisive as with what they want to do.
This is a little bit different this time around for Mobazane, you know, struggling to get these objectives. You know, yesterday he was on point with them, but so far, the jungle battle definitely going in favor of S2G right now. This Lord's going to be started up half health right now. They've got the advantage in terms of the space to work with, but it will go for a reset.
Oh, that fucking L-Bush is about to be a fucking suicide. Oh, goes in after Hoon, half health.
But part of this factor too, S2G can actually whittle down some of the members of BTK, relying on the fact that, again, they have this big power pick in the roam that Matilda able to really help out. But you can see, you know, there's still going to be respect here from S2G. Even with the lead that they have, that 3K lead, they don't want to overstep. They don't want to get overconfident, because we've seen this before. With the best of ones, the case it is just literally with a turn of a handle.
Shark! Come on, man. And then we just took out 2 fucking ultimate.
SCG, this might be the green light.
Oh, no, that was theirs. That was an IMU, right? No, wait, where the fuck did that real-world manipulation come from?
Trying to decide whether to go for the contest, but the problem is Kazue against Mobazane. Misui has a major advantage.
Am I dumb? Was that not a real? Okay.
Lunar goes in once again. Real-world manipulation will be casted by Hoon. S2G Esports will back away so far, but will still continue for the Lord. But Shark will get a beautiful
fucking right
combination to set up Mobazane for the Lord's sake, and S2G will have to retreat.
And that's what I was saying, man. BTK, they can take it slow and steady, and at some point, the game is going to build up in their favor. You know, you're under the 11-minute mark, but a great show of patience. Really, that's what it was from BTK. They were patient enough to go ahead and get through it, and then get to a point where, hey, we're able to turn things around. Zia is where he needs to be at this point. He's got the Malefic gun, he's got the Haas Claws, and he can rely on Shark to jump in. That's the thing. How many times does Shark need to jump in to find that proper spatial migration and get things set up for the team? Now it's flipped in their favor. They're going to walk in with this Lord. It should be cleared out pretty well from S2G, but they are going to lose some of these tier 2 turrets. Little trip around from Pagu. They'll deal with the Lord. It's going to go down shortly, and a good push. Also that tier 1, the next focus from Fly Chicken up top. BTK continues to take things in. One of the first times in this game that the gold is, you know, it's slightly in their favor. It will continue on, but they diminished the 3K gold lead.
And BTK just proving what the panel was saying a while ago. Mastery over meta. Look at the off-meta picks BTK has. They have a
Why didn't they do a replay for that fight? I would love to see a replay on it.
Those two are the key heroes that set up that Lord steal up against S2G, despite the fact that there was a 2-level gap between the 2 junglers. They have good position, and at the same time, they have a Suyu. Paired up with the Sever Retribution combination, it's easy to get neutral objectives, but despite all that, BTK just got a 2K gold lead against S2G.
This is the ever so changing of momentum that we've seen so far in a lot of these games, and right now it's BTK in the favor. And you know, with that, with the way that they kind of played that last Lord, that's great for them. They can continue to do that. So if you're S2G, we got to think, all right, how do they actually approach these fights the next time? The part of that equation is the fact that this is the strength of the Fredrin, man. And I know, you know, Fredrin was, he was what? At one point, he was the pick. He was the guy. He fell off in the meta. He came back. Well, you know, Mobazane's the guy that brings them back for the most part, Moba Fred. And, you know, he's popped up in the XP lane, but still in the jungle, he's still that hero that's able to go ahead and tank things up, just kind of stay there and watch you and watch the rest of the assassin junglers that are priority right now kind of just take those shots from the Lord. And then next thing you know, they're at half health. And then you get collapsed on. So for S2G, they might want to approach this next Lord in a sense of, you know what, let's just go ahead and see if we can find our angle. And most likely, that's off Lunar. Lunar's been doing that every single time.
They have to know that they're in there. They have to know.
He's got the flicker.
Are we going to fight here?
You know, he could be the one to set things up, but right now, BTK...
Ah, Shark got caught, dude. Damn it. They read that shit so fucking well, especially right before a fucking Lord, dude. That sucks. How long has he got?
Will they go
24
for the
seconds.
Lord push? Will they go for the Lord burst? Will they take
Back
down
off,
BTK?
Hoon!
They're trying to poke down Hoon. Here comes the Circling Eagle, but Hoon manages to flicker out. But look at Siggy Boom. The Turkish
Was that a
Triggerman
fucking
with
snipe?
Renner takes down Hoon. Now Mobazane trying to
Back
stop
off,
every
guys. You
single
can't take
guy.
this
The team is
Lord.
Quite alive still, but 5 members of STG are surrounding this second Lord. Will BTK pull off another miracle and steal away this Lord?
They're gonna go for it. It's the quarter to health.
Okay, here comes Circling Eagle once again. It's gonna be right back to battle. See ya.
Zane!
Zane gets the Lord, and BTK green light on the attack. Infernal pursuit from Fight Chicken, but he's gonna fall down as well. Mobazane and Zia.
Oh, Shark!
Shark, got him!
Manages
Boy!
to lead. Siggy Boom, a double kill for Zia.
Off the headshot from Siggy Boom earlier, and they come back with a vengeance. They are bloodthirsty at this point as they march down the mid lane. Lord in tow. Kazooie all alone, ready for the rest of the team. The turret's gonna be worked on. Can he do it?
And another pickoff coming in from Shark. Kazooie is gonna fall down, and BTK will now become the
Let's go!
And another victory for a BTK. You can see that patience played a part here in their second game throughout the Swiss stage, bringing them to that 2-0. What a victory for them, and yes. Even from Shark, man, just incredible game. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to them and everyone rooting for BTK, of course. We're going to throw it over to the panel to break things down even further.
3v5 that last fight was, dude. That's fucking insane.
They went ahead and did it. Turkey Slayers for the very first 2 days of
How's it fucking feel, Leo?
Over S2.
Gideon? Non-believers?
Game. I thought it would be one-sided at one point, but now they just kept trading blows.
On a lane per lane, hero per hero perspective, a lot of big question marks when it comes to BTK's draft. But again, mastery over meta. They stretched the limits of the utility of each of those heroes and made those team fights their backyard.
Honestly, the way that they were playing, so momentum-based, there was a lot of weight between each one of the blows that they were throwing out against each other. I think, honestly, you know, we can break this down even more. There's so much to actually look into, but it's great to see that both sides very reactive.
Shark really got to show off why that Guinevere is his signature. And of course, the rest of BTK, as Leo said, stretching out the limits. Let's go on over to the stage now to hear from BTK.
2-0 for BTK, and this time around coming in with another Thanksgiving dinner, taking down another team from Turkey. With me here we have Moba Zane. Okay, first of all, Zane, how are you feeling? Just one step away from actually qualifying.
It feels great, yeah. Feels good.
You're feeling pumped?
Yeah.
It's 2-0. Did you expect it such an easy 2-0, or did you actually maybe even consider a 1-1 or a 0-2 when you guys found out about your matchups?
We're looking to beat stronger teams in Turkey in this tournament.
Ooh, okay, I like it. Now that you guys actually just beat another strong team from Turkey, how do you feel like
Is she from
about
Canada,
other powerhouses? Now, you said you guys are looking forward to it, but what other powerhouses are you guys looking forward to?
Mostly the big Southeast Asia regions, Philippines, Indo, Malaysia, stuff like that.
Now, yesterday, actually, after Team Spirit won, and as well as RRQ, both Kid Bomba and Skylar said that they are looking forward to meet BTK. Why is that so? Why do you think they're looking forward to meet you?
I don't know. You would have to ask.
You don't know?
No.
Do you want to meet them, though? Do you
I
think
would
they're
like
good?
to meet them. I would like to
Skylar
go
or
first.
Kid Bomba?
Both.
Both. So, are we seeing, do you think that BTK is actually going to prolong your journey in M6 this time around?
Definitely.
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 What are your goals? Like top 4, top 6, champion?
Champion.
What are we looking at so far?
Champion. Say champion, bitch. Don't be a bitch.
Top 4 would be a
Top
good goal.
4,
but
okay.
We'll see how.
How?
We'll see if we can go even farther.
Okay, Zane's getting humble.
How?
here. Okay, now Zane, maybe just the last question. Now that you've been in Malaysia for quite a while, I think around a week, right?
Coward,
What do you think of
exactly.
Malaysia so far?
It's a nice country. It's nice.
What about the MLBB scene right now? Do you think they're improving? You know, what about the community?
Don't do
you see a lot of
this!
people coming
Don't
in
do
every
it, Zane!
day?
Calm down, don't do it! It's a trap!
Yeah, the community is really good. I mean, I come from North America. We never see stuff like this, so it's always a nice, sight. So
Aw,
thank you
that's
guys
very
for showing
nice.
up.
Yes, that's very nice, Zane. And I'm pretty sure more people will come as long as M6 is still ongoing. And I'm pretty sure people here would also support you guys. So thank you very much, Zane. Congratulations on another amazing win. And with that, let us throw it over back to the panel to break down what happened in this game against S2G.
Somebody take away Zane's phone. Make sure he doesn't update his Instagram.
Captain America, though, we're getting there. I expected the return of some spicy stuff, but well, it looks like they're just very happy that they got the dub here in what was, again, what we mentioned to be a challenge.
They expected to hear some spicy stuff. Every single... He can't do spicy stuff because every single time he does spicy stuff, somebody's getting
It's a
upset.
heavyweight match, right? If one big punch connects with the chin, you're going down.
So confirmed, they did play more of it of Mike Tyson kind of gameplay. Yeah.
Was. Wait, what do you mean?
So who we think? We think Shark MVP?
What? Defensive at the beginning.
Because they couldn't. It was up to them to say, I can hit my haymakers now.
Yep.
Okay. So it was like you sent Tyson back to the ropes and then, you know, hope that he stays there.
Yep.
And then eventually Tyson got out. And
Went for the ear, instead found a nice rib punch.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like it was more like Henry Cavill just reloading your fists.
Oh, yeah, the fist reload.
The fist reload real quick. Because
Yeah.
again, that's what it felt like because both compositions were very ultimate based, right? You have to wait for the execution. You have to wait for those cooldowns to come off. And then if you are able to make it connect with the chin, you could see that these fights were devastating.
which I think was key to BTK's comeback. There were multiple instances where Begin could not find Hoon to try and lock down the RWM. And you'll see here in the highlights that there was this one big fight wherein it was perfect almost for S2G, but they couldn't find the RWM, so BTK found him lacking.
I mean, there's that, but also the fact that this key moment here is when we saw the big steal, right? Because inevitably, you don't have that RW.
God,
what
that
are you
fucking-
going to do? And
Oh.
Shark was able to turn that around. 3-man knock up with a magic thumb, and most importantly, was able to knock up Kazuya to allow.
That's just so great because he got the RWM down and they got out of it like so quickly.
How many years already?
But
So he's looking at
Shark
Mobazane
was
thinking,
there.
If I get locked down, I'm going to lose this retry battle so quickly. And because the RWM came out so early, that gives him confidence. He's still waiting for that very last moment, especially when the Soul Suffrage got nerfed. So getting knocked up like that, you can only focus on so many things at a time. This just goes to show that attention is also a valuable resource in the game.
Speaking of resources, though, in the very beginning, going back to the laning phase, it looked tough for BTK because the gold lane was struggling, and as you mentioned,
I mean, Bruno got 4 kills. He did. I want to say Bruno. I mean, I'm not let down by Zia, but he did kind of get cucked in his lane. He came back at the end, though.
With the Malefic Gun priorities, although the Malefic Gun came in second for Siggy Boom, it was an instant rush for Zia, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to double check that. No, it was a second item too, as well. Malefic Gun really does a lot for compositions that will play with an Eve because it adds extra range and extra poke.
I think just basically pound for pound, Malefic Gun is an amazing item. It is for tank fighters. The brute
Turn
force
off the
wrestling.
squirrels.
So it's perfect
You
for
turn
the
off the
second
squirrels.
item power slot.
Other than the what we've mentioned here so far in terms of the mid lane is all right, but Divine Glaive Rush actually by Begin. I like that because knowing that he's going up against, you know, the Fred in the jungle.
Of course, of course. But the way that you should be looking at it is that if you are going to play compositions of this sort, it's about how much burst and how much range do you need. What is the optimal amount of space of influence you need your opponents to walk into before you actually look for these big executions? I mean, if we're breaking it down role by role, obviously the Malefic Gun is great, but at the same time, notice that they didn't rush it first item, right? Both actually, if we looked at the emblems prior to that, Master Assassin. They both really wanted to win the game. Here, let me just pull up the emblem emblems for you to make it all simple for you guys watching at home here. Because another emblem setup that I wanted to look at specifically was coming in from Shark. So, 2 Master Assassins coming in from both gold laners. We know that they want to win the lane, but then Shark comes in with the Concussive Blast. Now, this is interesting for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're going up against a double-ranged mid lane, right? Matilda into the Valentina, and Valentina, as long as you don't get knocked up by that magic thump, and if the spatial migration is used to aggressively, physical, no, sorry, not physical, but melee heroes tend to struggle after 2 Shadow Strikes. So controlling that mid lane was so very important, but it would always cost a lot of health from Shark specifically.
Yeah, it's the extra wave clear, the poke as well that you can provide, and to really get the control around the center of the map. But again, it was like highlighted about with how BTK decided to go into this, especially it being a little bit more team fight oriented. It's again, they're throwing it back to an older style, to 2-3 metas ago.
But it's a fundamental style. There are many universal truths in the world of MLBB. The fact that Cho will always be meta, and that if you focus on team fighting, everything else can be secondary. And that's why when S2G were up against the ropes, we were looking at their lineup and saying, yeah, if they had to defend, they got to win fights first. And BTK was going to make that impossible for them. That's why BTK, once they had him by the throat, everything just followed. Because look, the final game stat, 5K ahead, BTK was. When you have a lineup that's as easy to execute as BTK's, even Begin will have to wonder, which ult do I take? Which ult can I take?
It's always the RWM. Without a doubt, it is always the RWM because, again, that is the key ultimate from BTK, which enables it in the first place.
And if you can't find Hoon, it's over.
Exactly.
So I'd say S2G were the victims of analysis paralysis. They were wondering, oh no, what's the next decision? Next thing you know, Captain American's in your face. Thunderbelt slap.
Okay, so did it really just boil down to BTK ended up with a lineup that was easier to pull off?
No, actually, there was one thing that S2G could have done, but then there was an overreaction to it. Now, if you look towards that gold graph at 3.6K, this is a huge lead for S2G, right? The only way that they could actually lose that lead is if that Lord was not stolen. So that was such a pivotal moment. Once that Lord was taken away, it's not like the composition is designed to wave clear in the first place. So that's why we got to give it up to our MVP Shark here. 2 times we've seen this man make insane plays. The first time for the Lord Seal, the second to extend the lead to eventually end the game.
4th straight M series for what many in North America hail to be their greatest tank. And if you ask, few people might even say the actual true GOAT of NA. Over and over again, when he pops up in the international scene, a lot of eyes go to this young man on his signature Guinevere, showing us why exactly this hero is linked to him in NA.
3 years ago, Shark debuted in M3 and he brought up the Lolita. Many were questioning, is this the new meta? Like, what is this North American roamer doing? Could this be his Lolita in M6?
So 3 years later, it's a different roam this time around. And, well, he really popped off again with the knockups. I feel like that's one of the things that usually happens against teams that haven't seen Guinevere in a while. They forget. You forget how strong her counter punish is if she's not the one initiating with the thump.
Look at Shark coming back all the way from base.
How much distance you actually get from the thump. Because most of the time, it's like, if not, it's like half a screen away. You don't see
Dude, that shit's fucking crazy. Look at this fucking flicker from Shark.
Disregard.
Dude, honestly, fuck Guinevere's hitbox.
How much distance you actually get from the thump.
Look at it. He's got eyes on Siggy Bum. Look how far fucking Shark is from him.
Because most of the time it's like
and then he's gonna you see where the fuck this spatial migration is about to land before Siggy Bum.
It's not.
And then he flickers out.
It's like half a.
Dude, like. So shit.
In a way, you don't see it a majority of the time until it's too late.
In that 10-11 minute clutch moment where
you don't see it
That's so garbage.
Most of the time, it's like, if not, it's like half a screen away. You don't see it a majority of the time until it's too late.
In that 10-11 minute clutch moment where they stole away the Lord and almost wiped out S2G, Shark used the breadth of his kit. He literally went from, what was that, the orange buff bush, walked it down, went through that pixel brush, and then flickered into the thump, into the 3-man knockup. He literally went from state to state.
So, well, there you have it. BTK testing the limits again of their lineup, getting the win over Turkey. Now going to the 2-0 bracket in our Swiss stages, and now a new rivalry brewing for the North Americans. First, it was with Brazil and Archeo Akira. Now it is with the representatives of Turkey. It's Black Friday today, so you know there's a lot of things going on up there. Sales, whatnot.
They
also
copped
have-
themselves a 2-0 slot.
got themselves a 2-0 slot.
deal.
That's a good deal, exactly. And now for BTK, it must be a huge boost. It can't just be like, oh no, we're already here. I mean, come, it's 2-0. Literally, Rose said it best. You're one win away from qualifying into the knockouts.
And don't forget, it's going to be a best of 3 as well. So really, the challenge starts now all the way. Even if they qualify for knockouts, it's not going to be an easy test. And I think that's a lot of the same mentality with a lot of the
Wait, what's the best of 3
coming in to the 2-0 bracket.
Well, that's only the very
Wait,
first
2-0
game for
bracket is
today.
best
We
of
have
3?
more coming
Is that
your
right?
way. Another interesting story between two unexpected teams to make it into this portion. It's Falcon of Myanmar, Falcon Esports of Myanmar, who took down the runner-ups of MPL Philippines Season 14 in Aurora MLBB versus the unexpected champions, the villains turned heroes of Saudi Arabia and Twisted Minds.
I like it. It's a clash of dark horses, and if you know what the history and
Wait,
the
Twisted Minds
respective
won
fan carries
yesterday?
from both of these teams from their home regions, you'll know that there's a lot on the line.
Who did they
We're gonna be
beat?
seeing two Filipino coaches duke it out with their teams. Again, it's Myanmar versus Saudi Arabia coming up next. It was a great start to our very first
Vamos. I'm like, who the fuck?
second day of Swiss stages for M6 World Championship. Again, my name is Ramar Santa Cruz. We're here with Leo and Gideon Q. We'll be back after a very short break for Falcon Esports versus Twisted Minds here in Swiss stage. Day number 2, it's M6.
Isn't tomorrow a best of 1? After that, it'll be a best of 3? Dude, I'm getting conflicting info. Hold on. Gary the Owl, thank you so much for the gifted subscriptions. Congratulations to Song, Hilltip, Snowy, Full Arts, a Bayside Ocean. Gary the Owl, thank you so much, bro. All right, so this is what we're looking at. I don't see anything that says tomorrow's going to be a best of 3. Am I crazy? What do you think of Falcon Esports? Bro, I mean, no disrespect to those guys, but I don't care about either of those teams. I am interested to see how Falcons do, because I have a feeling that we might face them next. But I mean, one thing has to be said about them beating Aurora. Round 3, high 3 is a best of 3. Does it say it here and I'm missing it? Let me see. Maybe it's over here. You're right. You're right. Here it is. 4 teams that have 2-0 aggregate will randomly match. The winner of this match will advance the playoff stage. Matches will be a best of 3. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. So once you qualify, you're done with the Swiss rounds. You're done with the Swiss round, right? Because this says 6 teams now. No, that's... to escape the Swiss stage, you have to go to a best of 3. Okay, that makes sense. So technically, tomorrow could be our last day. We could be sitting pretty. What am I hearing? Hello, Panda. Not to say anything, not for nothing though, we kind of lucked out. We've had a good draw. 2 Turkish teams instead of like Philippines, Indo, Myanmar. Even though Myanmar is because they lost to S2G, so... Or Myanmar, Malaysia. Fan of Cat, how you doing, you lovely voiced woman? What are you doing up so late? Hoping they face Falcon or Twisted in the 2-0 bracket. What are you trying to say? It's only 11 here. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Two of the worst feelings.
Getting Fnatic Onic or RRQ is like a bullet to the head for non-C teams. It really is. It really is. Even Chicken was talking about it. He's like, dude, they're just on a fucking another level, dude.
Shock the world, and immediately eyes are on you. That is what these 2 teams did. The Soaring Falcon from Myanmar and the Twisted Masterminds. It's Falcon Esports versus Twisted Minds from MENA. My name is Redmar Santa Cruz. Welcome back to the panel here with Leo and Gideon Q.
Dude, I'm happy too.
BTK being the first team to go 2-0.
It's weird. They didn't go back to the analyst desk. They just kind of stuck on the casters. Oh no, this is the analyst desk. I'm such an idiot. Naisu was the caster, right? Naisu with some other dude.
Gaming performance. You should get yourself Leo, what's that called again? It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's called the ROG Phone Series 9. This is the 8 Pro, but you can get unmatched gaming performance with the aforementioned 9 Pro. A mobile masterpiece that seamlessly blends high-powered gaming with a sleek, modern aesthetic. It's going to have about the same silhouette, but more powerful innards. It's got the Snapdragon Gaming Elite chip, last I checked.
Yeah, Totally
Last time you checked? Last time you checked? When is the last time you checked, Leo?
Soft flex, but now I kind of feel bad about myself, but I'm very happy that we have ROG Phone 9 Pro watching over us. Thank you for M6.
Touch it.
Good. Oh, thank you. Oh, this
Apparently
is
you can play Pong on the back of that thing.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, you can.
Ooh.
On the anime vision.
Yes.
Yeah, you can set that up.
All that power for Bong? Heck yeah.
right? It's
Right,
just
wait,
Yeah, as long as you don't have freaking
So, if you want to participate,
pop-ups enabled on your fucking device.
For a chance to win Claude's new Epic skin, Challenger's Flare, and Beatrix's new M4 Epic Painted skin, Lightseeker. Can you do that again, please?
Both of them do that, right? Like, 'cause this is Nibiru and then Claude.
Hoon said that this is his last competitive scene. Dude, I asked him about that during the roundtable. He said he never said that. I'm like, bitch, I literally watched a video of you saying that.
Returning for a limited time.
Well, he didn't say it is. He says it might. He said it might be.
I like what our fantastic creative team have put up here. The Upset Kings. I mean, they both pulled out.
But when I talked with him about it, he was super vehement about it not being the case.
Yesterday, with the loss of Aurora at the Falcon and the loss of Vamos, the Twisted Minds. Now, which one do you want to talk about here today? Like, you know, anyone really? It's a democracy here.
I mean, I'm going to start with Twisted Minds because, again, this was very, very shocking. For the longest of times, most people would have imagined that the Middle East North African region was probably the weakest amongst the rest of the competitive table. But nowadays, I mean, this is a huge change because this was from
probably had time to think about it more. Yeah, but then don't act like you didn't say it.
MPL has been running for quite some time.
Like motherfuckers are like reaching into the abyss to find these
contenders. Just absolutely impressive.
Yeah, the turns have been tabled, as the kids say these days, and Myanmar.
So I'm thinking. So all right, let me bring it straight for you guys. So I have to work this morning. And a lot of the games that I want to watch aren't going to be happening until a lot later. So we'll probably do the giveaway after this match, and then yeah. And then tonight, this afternoon, guys, if you're up or anything like that, I will be casting for the Moonlight Club. I'll be casting their semifinals. I'll also have a stream tonight with more giveaways, just a normal Mobile Legends stream. And then something was going on tomorrow morning. I can't remember. Yeah, Saturday morning. And then I'm casting the finals of the Moonlight Club on Saturday.
It was bittersweet for me, but as a Bane main, like, that's what you get.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure though we might actually see more Bane pickup, so don't worry about that, Leo. So as much as the family Madrigal would tell me to not talk about Bruno, well, let's talk about Bruno. Here's something from Sanji. A lot of the meta has changed in the past 1 to 2 weeks.
I think that's because who needs to join South Korea's mandatory army thing. Interesting.
I like what he said right there afterwards. Even SRG has lost.
Another year would be fine. Why quit when you're thriving so long? Imagine, guys, that every ounce of your free time needs to be taken up with one fucking game and stressing about this game and having to play and maybe dealing with people's attitudes and personalities and shit like that, and always having to field questions and stuff like that. I mean, it's just, it can become mind-numbing. He probably just wants to do other things with his free time.
5 minutes to actually be able to turn things around. So it's not impossible to beat a Bruno. It's not impossible to make a comeback with a Bruno.
If anything, Twisted Minds would know. They had a Bruno yesterday. They were also behind. Because again, Vamos' draft was very aggressive. They had that mid-lane Khalid. And it took him, what? Way past late game, and then they had to come around, and then that's how they did it. So I think Sanji's just downplaying how strong Bruno is, really.
Yeah. By the way, these are all just the highlights of all of the terrific Bruno performances we saw yesterday. And again, it boils down to the simple fact and reality that one of the biggest problems of Bruno just gets solved by one item, and that's why the meta has shifted, because people have realized how dang good Malefic Gun really just is.
I mean, it's a yes and no, right? I think
that's exactly right, Appy Blank.
Really favors burst at the same time.
But it's not for sure. He just mentioned that if he did step back from pro play, that's what he would want to do.
Yeah. So let's now bring the question up in the air of, do you ban Bruno right away? Is it something that if you cannot take it, you ban it?
I think they're called units in the game, like the range, but no, I don't think you ban Bruno. I think we are just at the
deal
cusp.
with it?
Yeah, I think we're at the cusp of figuring out what makes Bruno tick, and I give it up until the knockouts before we have to say, yeah, let's just ban it. That's my opinion, because I don't think we've ever seen a gold laner do such a thing.
All my guest coins went useless. SRG, Vamos, Aurora. Should have bet them all on BTK, Pope.
But it wasn't a range thing for Harith.
I mean,
It was more of his odd power spike mid-game.
No, but in a way, that's me agreeing with you, because eventually we solved Harith.
well, I mean, yes, we did solve Harith. I think that even with the Bruno here, a lot of it just really boils down to your execution, right? How exactly are you going to try and punish it, whether it's in lane or in the team fights? The good thing about Bruno is that he has...
Did Bruno
consistent
counter
damage,
Harith?
And it happens to also work with a crit build, which is so far have been doing a little bit better overall compared to pure attack, and also when it comes down to the Divine Trinity.
Yeah. So now, then it sort of connects to the question of, like, are we just slowly going back to the meta that led to the Filipinos getting 4 straight world champions? You know what, there's a lot of questions, so let's talk more about the stars of this upcoming match. Let's start it off with the Soaring Falcons of Myanmar. They have an iconic Bruno player in their midst. It's Benny.
That's right. Aim high, fly high, flanked by his side laners, Dax and Royal Milk. What was that? Maybe a year and change ago, wherein Royal Milk was part of a different lineup, then called Phoenix Esports, less than stellar performance at MSC 2023, and he was the weak link. A lot of people would say, oh, Royal Milk, da-da-da, Royal Milk, da-da-da. Watch their games now, especially in their recent qualifier in Myanmar. Watch yesterday, watch today. Royal Milk will open up the map. Royal Milk will allow for Dax, PX7, and for, of course, Benny to start rolling.
You know, something about Falcon Esports tells me they are a team that just know how to acupuncture. Well, they know how to hit the perfect mark.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the draft, whether it's in the game, they know how to hit that perfect point to trigger their victory conditions. Now their opponents are going to be from MENA, the Twisted Masterminds.
And honestly, Twisted Minds, they shocked even me, especially against a team like Vamos.
Royal
who
Milk,
was
get 'em.
So early game. It's good to see that Twisted Minds can handle it with Sano, Troll, Cuffin, Oda, and as well as Sanji. The big standouts to me, I think that Twisted Minds this time round, it's really their meta, right? Sanji is able to kind of open the map for the rest of everybody else, but Hoda, especially on these assassins, really helps accelerate this game. We're depending on Cuffin, of course, to try and keep control generally, but man, Hoda stands out to me, and I want to see whether or not his assassins are still going to be a high priority, especially since we already know that Benny and as well as Hano both want to play Bruno.
The Magi.
The Magi, the hidden pharaoh. Name. I don't know why I instantly changed my voice there, but you know, for Twisted Minds, I think you can start off with a very simple approach. I actually got a chance to chat with Dilar, and of course we know that he got to play with the members of Burmese schools.
Oh yeah.
And he said that his friends from Burmese schools told him, why did Aurora let the Bruno through? Don't they know that Benny's actually the best Bruno in Myanmar?
If anything, I first saw the Bruno come out of the Myanmar qualifiers. Like for months now, they've been playing Bruno.
Yeah, man, Benny popped off with it. So, he was asked what he thinks about Malaysia. He says he likes the weather. It's nice. It's been raining a lot. Is it normal to rain a lot during this time of the year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, they asked about the food, and he hasn't tried anything? Okay, so, Gideon, if you're talking to Benny right now, give me like that one dish that he definitely should try.
I mean, I don't want to always go to just nasi lemak every single time. I think we gotta step it up a little bit. I think we gotta go for something a little bit more interesting. Let me think about this.
Adobo. Oh, no, I'm kidding.
probably like a bone marrow curry or something.
Ooh.
Gotta go straight to the high end stuff.
And of course, a glass of
The only best way to use guest coins is to put them on Fnatic up. Fnatic Onic. True. Sadly.
It is usually, well, depending on the way the seasons go, it's always going to be rainy season, then it's hot season, then it's mosquito season, and then it rinses and repeats.
You have a season specifically for that? I thought in Southeast Asia that's like every day.
Oh no,
isn't that our life?
It's just a cycle.
It's like
I'm pretty sure it's the same in Myanmar.
can't escape it. South ASEAN region strong, folks.
ASEAN.
But of course, now let's turn our focus into what Twisted Minds have done, what they did against Vamos yesterday. They can tango with a very aggressive team fighting lineup. And I think now if Falcon Esports want to just say, hey, man, let's just out-macro them, you know, they're from MENA, maybe they are going to get surprised because this Twisted Minds team, they can actually force really good fights.
Well, that's the thing. I think that at least when you're up against like a team like Vamos, where we're very linear, right? You play early game, that's what we're good at, that's what we're going to stick to. There was some level of pre-preparation. A lot of their picks, the Tigreal for an example, going into that game, as soon as he has his ult, as well as the flicker, he's instantly going to go for it. It's all about controlling tempo. And I think that's something that Falcons do pretty well too, but I'm hoping that the battle is going to lean more towards the EXP side of the map because, again, we're expecting Bruno to be selected pretty quick and maybe even Assassins in the jungle.
I just want to say this. I really hope this is not a one-sided game. And yeah, you're going to hear every caster say that, but there's something about these two and them playing a close match and what it means for the rest of global MLBB. Falcon, they beat Aurora. Twisted Minds, they beat Vamos. And now we see Twisted Minds on the blue side as immediately I like and appreciate teams who take out Eve in the first phase because it's such a strong first 2 picks on the red side.
I think it's pretty decent, but at the same time, you also got to get rid of Jushin as well as the Fanny. It's just, you know, the curse of being on red side. You got to get rid of these power picks. But
100%.
But the fact that Twisted Minds decided to get rid of both Hylos and as well as Hilda is kind of interesting.
They're just opening it up for Gatot. That means Gatot is going to run Rampart. And second game in a row today, they let through the Matilda.
Ooh.
I think Matilda still has to be respected.
Rush it now. Oh no, they rushed to Bruno. They want to immediately put it in the hands of Saano. That is, well, ballsy.
Look at the smile on Benny's face.
It's like,
it's like that, huh?
They took my hero, bro.
I see you. But at this point, I think that Falcons can start threatening the positions, right? Because, if we're thinking about Bruno, what is more dangerous? A Purify Bruno or a Flicker Bruno? And most would say the Flicker, and I would have to agree. I want to see something that's going to force him to take that Purify, and having, and initially, the Fulvius makes sense, I guess, but at least the Vexana gives him a reason to do so.
Yeah, the Fulvius pick to me is quite interesting because with the Bruno already, that you say, okay, I want to play Fulvius, even though I already know that you have the right marksman to deal with it. So hopefully they still round that out. They need another tanky frontliner. It cannot be utility. Weirdly enough now, because of the Matilda on the other side, Falcon might actually have to accept the fact that they need a lineup that can thrive in longer team fights because of the shields of the
My stream is behind.
Oh, but they go for a wombo combo for the first 3.
Honestly, it's such an honest draft coming in for Falcon. No one's picking nothing. They're just going to say, hey, we want a team fight. We want to make sure that Fulvius is in front. And if anything goes wrong, we've got Tigreal in the back to turn it around.
Yeah. Even though the Twisted Minds lineup is still also quite honest, there's a little bit more trickery involved with who gets the guiding win. But as far as we know, it's Matilda supplementing the alpha.
Yep. And the 50-50, I think the fact that Coach Lyric and Coach Dahlia confirmed their jungler, they understood that whatever Dax picks up, the Matilda and the alpha should be able to deal with.
Yeah.
So weirdly enough, the Suyo's still open. The Pain yesterday is still open.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Wait, so now I have a question that I just realized. If you're Falcon, would you consider banning out something like the Aurora? Because I feel like the Twisted Minds having Aurora with them, with the Take Vex and even the Fulvius, Aurora might actually thrive against those heroes.
Actually, 2 picks that I'm interested in seeing. Whether or not the Valentina is going to be thought of at all, or at a bare minimum, get rid of that glue. Because again, that's the only thing that's going to be able to take care of this Fulvius in lane and have some form of hard control against their opponents.
Yep, also safety if ever they are telegraphing the Bane. Because you want things that allow for the Bane to just rush shot, hit the CCC in the back.
Yep.
I wonder though, if Falcon open up the glue, maybe they're thinking that we have a Persona in a way who's gonna have like he's gonna have the lightning charge. You can kill the glue real quick, and at the same time it magnifies the resonant damage and pops off. And if anyone's very close to that glue, then it's actually not gonna be good for Twisted Minds. Might be the bait that they're trying to set up Aurora. So yeah, Falcon ends up respecting it. What's Valentina maybe for Twisted Minds as you mentioned earlier?
Possibly. It's right now. There's only 2 valuable ults at this point. One of them puts you in a lot of danger. The other needs an enabler, and the only other enabler that you got right now is Matilda, which is a little unreliable most of the time. Or you can really depend on that alpha, right? But it's more of a counter-engage tool more so than to extend your lead. Yeah. So at this point, I think that Twisted Minds, it's smart that they're getting rid of at least the Beatrix at this point of time to make sure that that lane is even harder for the side of Falcons, and getting rid of the Nolan to make sure that the pace is going to be kept at a pretty standard rate.
All right, so they take away the burst. The Suyo will be active, so that might end up becoming the jungle trade. The aforementioned Bane. I think for whatever, yeah,
Bane is
they
so
might actually be
good
okay. Yeah.
If they pick up the Bane, it's gotta be.
Wait, why is Bane good here?
So yeah, I'm sure that's not Bane. Okay, so it is.
I would love to know where Bane is good, because I miss using Bane.
I feel like that might not be the best.
Yeah, no, but I think that's Coach RC and Coach Nyo Chao's way of saying, you know what? Benny, just get in his face. The Bruno needs time. The Bruno needs like at least a power spike. But the 1-1 plus a Vexana visit, like that should be enough.
I don't know about
You're
this.
forcing Troll to babysit Sano.
How much of a babysit? I mean, I think it really just boils down to how does that lane actually go? And I think that Wanwan doesn't actually
Dude,
do
what
that
the
well
fuck happened to
unless you're able
Suyo?
consistently hit 2 weakness points on your trade and then move back before the second auto comes through.
Oh, there's a
that's actually
Sicilian.
such a good idea coming in from Twisted. I like the Sicilian here, but the Edith especially, a great way to say, hey,
Bane's
it doesn't
good
matter
in
what
the Tig,
happens in
right?
my lane. If Wanwan gets
Is
a
he,
little too close
though?
to me, if I get locked down, it doesn't matter. I'm able to slow down the pace of the game to create opportunities for both my Alpha and Sicilian.
Bruno is a hard match for Wanwan, though.
For Falcon.
Well, technically, Wanwan
carries,
has
I feel
more
like, might
range,
be,
right?
matched here, but if it goes very well for them, then they can snowball. But just looking at the lineup of Falcon, this might not end well for, or excuse me, for Twisted Minds might not end well for Falcon. Tossing on over to our casters.
Still not banning Bruno is
My mind's
crazy.
a little twisted here. Once again, welcome to the caster desk. I'm Nicesuit, joined here with Ingon, and we're here to bring you the second match of the day for Swiss Day number 2. Absolutely amazing. I love both drafts. Ingon, what do you think here as we get a last look of them?
And looking at the lineup of Twisted Minds, talk about range, talk about mobility. You have the Bruno, you have the Matilda as well, and it's a good thing that it's paired up with the Alpha, because you know that the Spear of Alpha normally used to initiate or to escape. But with the presence of the Guiding Wind and Circling Eagle, there are a lot of possibilities, a lot of combinations that Twisted Mind can do with his current composition.
We'll see if this time around, as we jump into the Land of Dawn in this best of one, if Falcon Esports can soar high once again, or has Twisted Minds brought genius to this best of one. Both of them with surprises yesterday, and now unfortunately after this one of them is going to experience their loss. But with that being said, again, both lineups look really good. The thing that sticks out to me too, I mean, you know, I've spent some time over in the MENA region recently, and they love this pick, man. They love the Sicilian. They love to get this hero, build up on it, get the stacks that you need. And it's almost in a way, you know, this kind of late game composition card up your sleeve. If it's not handled, then the game doesn't end soon enough. So work has to be done here for Falcon Esports, and really looking at the emblems too. You know, you're going to be going with the speed again. I'm surprised still. Like Leo mentioned, the Matilda is being let through. It's being picked up. But then, of course, you know, Falcon Esports did get a great roam option themselves. I think both roamers are going to be very crucial to allowing the team to get the upper hand to start off with. But this is the combo that we see so often, man. You know, the Matilda and the Alpha, able to just move around the map really well.
Yeah, again, the presence of the Guiding Wind ensures that Alpha can just go in at any given moment, especially for the neutral objectives. And if the Spear of Alpha doesn't connect, there's always an exit route for Twisted Minds. And looking at the emblem set of Sano, he does have, again, the Master Assassin. So in terms of dominating the laning phase, he's confident enough to do this up against Benny. But look, Falcons Esports, speaking of confidence, they go in and bring down Sanji, forcing Twisted Minds to react. But the damage is not going to be enough. Hidex goes in, once again with the Sacred Hammer, just to bring down Hoda. And Nicesuit, did you expect this early aggression from Falcon Esports?
You know what? I did, because both these teams love to play the style, you know, and if they can get that going, Cuffin might be trying to make a play here. PX7.
Bye.
Oh, get one shot down. So a good pickup.
Dude, like what were they thinking? Falcon, is this the same Falcons that beat fucking Aurora?
That first turtle secured by Dax.
Yeah, and for Twisted Minds, you know, they have the late game insurance again with the Sicilian, but the thing is, you don't have to wait for the late game for the Sicilian to get its power spike. We've seen a lot of Sicilians activate at 10 minutes in, 11 minutes in, assuming that Twisted Minds will play this to perfection. But the problem is Falcon Esports, they know this also, so that's why, as much as possible, they're trying to speed things up. They're trying to catch Twisted Minds off guard. They're trying to twist their minds.
They're trying to, yeah. You know, at that point, that might be the play for them. But look at the thing about it, too, is with Falcon Esports starting with the momentum that we saw earlier on, again, that's what they have to do. You know, they have to be able to get the foot going because they're playing against the mobility that Twisted Minds has. But also, in a way, it's like a ticking clock for them because of the fact that you have the Sicilian here. And the fact, too, that Cuffin just got an early kill, giving him that little advantage to build up a little bit faster, get the items that he needs a little bit faster. He'll play into that, right? And part of it might be, all right, can we catch him? Can we catch Cuffin down? Because we do want to be able to deal with him. And the fact that he has a Purify, but he can also rely on Matilda to be there for Troll to just pull him out of danger is what's going to be difficult for Falcon Esports.
Damn, did Benny even get shoes?
And again, that's why the fact that they have this Tigreal here, they have the Eternal Guard that they can rely on too for a little bit more crowd control. And like Gideon was mentioning, Benny in the 1-1 against this gold lane matchup. Again, this is the top performing gold lane hero right now, this Bruno. And it's going to be a mainstay for probably the entirety of the tournament. 1-1 in that matchup, you probably need a little bit more care. You probably need a little bit more safety in your lane and play the safe route if you can. You could get aggressive against the Bruno, but you also don't want to be caught out because you don't have those get away from get out of jail free cards like you do with Twisted Minds. So Dax will go ahead and get a position here. Turtle is up. We'll see if they're able to secure it. They do have a minor lead too. Twisted Minds, they know they have the mobility. They know they have the utility. Sanji's gonna jump in.
Finds 3, but answers right back with Implosion for Kid X. Trying to bring down Sanji, and the first man down is Kid X for a Twisted Minds. They answer right back to bring down Sanji as well, but look at Royal Milk into the midst of everything, up against 4, just trying to zone out Twisted Minds for Falcon Esports to trade for that turtle. But the problem is Hoda is here.
Nice, Dax, nice.
The turtle plus the kill onto Hoda.
Royal Milk's job the whole time was, guys, just look at me. I'm here, I'm in the air, focus on me. He distracted all cats.
Oh, Dax goes in with a shadow. Is it going to be enough? Oh, here comes the circling eagle.
Bye.
But he's going to be alone. There's the stun and the kill for Troll, making things work for Twisted Minds, and that is a huge trade for them as Cuffin goes in with a to get a shutdown onto Benny. And
that Troll had wings, Ian.
Yeah, literally, man.
He had wings, he was flying, and I could hear Leo shout caca over there. But man, I'll tell you what a play and an answer from Twisted Minds. A lot of back and forth, and you asked me earlier, this is exactly what I expected with these two teams. Their play styles, the region themselves love to play like this. Kid X taking a couple shots, and he's gonna have to go heal back up. But ultimately, it was a great turtle take an objective. You got to keep that in mind. Falcon Esports has those 2 turtles in their favor, and it was great distraction from Royal Milk, but there's still that fighting power coming out from Twisted Minds.
And the thing is, this is their actual play style. They're methodical. They like to go for those big team fights, and if ever they're getting pushed, they're going to try and manage to find the trade as much as possible, and so far they're doing that successfully. Even down to the drafting phase, they've done it methodically thanks to the help of Coach Lyric. I mean, getting Bruno out of Benny's hands is in fact amazing, and plus the Matilda and Alpha combination that you can clearly see is working for them. But I do have to commend Cuffin. Cuffin has been, Twisted Minds' scapegoat, because the first kill of Twisted Minds, it came from Cuffin down to the bottom lane, and now the follow-up onto the top lane to even out the score to 5-5 and try to diminish as much as possible Falcon Esports' lead.
The lead right now, very, very little minor lead. But at this point, if they get this 3rd turtle, if they lock it in 3 for 3, that's going to be great for them leading into that first Lord. Twisted Minds, though, you can't count them out. It's relatively an even ball game at this point. Either team could secure this objective and even secure a devastating team fight. They're going to jump in.
Implosion going to catch 2, but the counter-attack is there for Twisted Minds, as Dax will get the turtle, plus the kill onto Sanji and to Soda. And now Falcon Esports, that was a heads-up play coming in from Kid X. Despite the counter-initiation that Twisted Minds wanted to do, they got the proper targets during that time. And now they have a 2.2k gold lead with the 3rd turtle. Might even get a hold on this mid lane turret. And Falcon Esports, this time they made sure Twisted Minds doesn't have a trade.
That's what I said, both roamers going to be crucial in both the teams here. Their success in this matchup. That time around, Kid X with a massive implosion, able to find the right targets exactly where they need to. And you only got a couple purifies. You have some of the flickers to be defensive with it. But if you get caught out in that implosion, you're most likely going to just go down and be dead, because Falcon Esports lineup too, very front loaded with damage if they're able to go ahead and find those kind of setups. So Twisted Minds will find themselves on the back foot a little bit. Again, they're still able to kind of find wins around the map if they can, but they're going to kind of be forced to also be together, travel around wherever Troll is going, try to stay in that safe area with them as a team, essentially, because they can't get caught out from Falcon Esports. And anytime that flicker is going to be available for Kid X.
Well, you don't really need a front line. You've got semi-tanky heroes with a Matilda.
Comes up here. How does Twisted Minds kind of get in position to secure themselves this next objective?
I think it's going to be hard for them to contest. Again, they have the late game insurance in Coffin with this Sicilian. In any given moment, if this Sicilian pops off, they can actually turn things around and extend the game, but that's the thing. They have to extend the game up against a very aggressive team like Falcon Esports. Here comes Kid X once again, gonna catch Hoda. Gonna commit the implosion as well, plus the internal guard just to bring down
Damn, they took Hoda out fast.
They're gonna bring down Royal Milk, but look at Benny picking up a kill for himself. Gonna bring down Troll as well. And Falcon Esports, that's a trade again. They're willing to take a jungler, a roamer.
Talk about perfect timing. You find the jungler, you find the roamer, and Lord comes up. It's free pickings at this point for Falcon Esports. They're going to secure this one. And that's what I was saying. The damage is so front-loaded that if Kid X is just like, guys, I got it. Here's the implosion. Boom comes the Eternal Guard, and then a kill to follow. So Falcon Esports' lineup that they brought to this game is just phenomenal. And Benny, honestly, Benny hasn't had to do too much. You know, he's able to just go ahead and farm up to what he needs to do. He hasn't really had that moment where he's doing this game, you know, team fight winning crossbow of Tang, because so far they haven't needed it.
Yeah.
And Dax alone too, the fact that he is on this Warcry emblem, you know, Hayabusa, that's what I'm saying. Once he just goes and gets those stacks off and then pops the shadow kill, like, someone's gonna go down in that exchange. Now they're gonna go ahead and manage these waves as they get ready to knock on the base of Twisted Minds. They still hold on to a couple tier 2 turrets, actually all of them. That bottom one nearly gone, and it is gonna go away once this Lord pushes down. Now the mid and top focused on 2. I'm wondering, I'm trying to look at Twisted Minds' potential to defend in the base here. Anytime you have a Sicilian, your base defense is pretty good, you know, especially depending on how many stacks you have. But still, they got to rely on being able to clear this
What
out.
other match are you really looking forward to?
It shouldn't be unless they just get dismantled in the base.
Ugh. RQ. I guess I want to see how. I'm not going to be able to watch the other ones because I'll be at work.
Holy defenses are popped.
But I do want to see how the Philippines are doing.
But they are ultimately able
Maybe
to
me and to see how Malaysia does.
So for Falcon Esports, they know that in order to
Even though they're in the losers group,
because it's almost impossible going up against a lineup up against a Sicilian. So right now, their goal was just to, as much as possible, maximize the Lord, pop the Holy Shields, and at the same time, don't give Twisted Minds, you know, a trade for them to bank on, for them to help extend the lead and eventually enable Coffin, enable Saano. So Falcon Esports, they're gonna play the waiting game. They're gonna do this by the book as much as possible. Wait for the next Lord. Try to get pickoffs.
Next match is I don't know who the next match is. It's gonna be the losers group though. We'll do the giveaway after this match. And then I'll try to get some sleep before work. Ooh, ain't gonna work.
To save him, and now Twisted Minds are forced. They're just forced to stay inside their base because of the initiations that Falcon Esports can do. It's not just even Kid X's implosion, just merely the fact that Wiggy Shadow Kill coming in from Dax can do the job to bring down either Coffin or Saano at this point in the game.
That's the thing, man. He's got Hunter Strike, he's got BOD, he's got Endless Battle, you know, and as the time goes on...
So you're going to pop off at 200 stacks? Yeah, but they're already back at base. They're basically being confined to their base. He's got great clear, which is basically means that we're waiting on Falcons to make a mistake. If Falcons do everything right, if they're patient, if they only push with the fucking Lord and then they go back to safety.
Hold on top side.
Very aggressive play, bringing a Soda with him as well, but Benny will be able to cross the indeed. Paired up with Implosion coming in from Kid X, gonna bring down 2. The next target is Sanji, gonna fall down in the hands of Benny. And as you were saying, we haven't seen
They tried him. They tried.
Now they're as aggressive as possible, gonna bring down Inhibitor. Eternal Guard to zone out Saano. And Falcon Esports, they didn't even have to wait for that Lord. They were able to use the aggression of Twisted Minds to their advantage. And now it's just 7.9k gold lead for Falcon Esports.
As I was just saying,
exactly.
You know,
even at 200 stacks, he needs to keep his distance. So
he made that team fight go in their favor. But you're seeing it. I know
damn.
they have a massive lead, 8,000 gold ahead. But like we saw just briefly ago, that's what, 180 plus stacks that Cuffin has right now. Looking at the replay here, you know, brought to us by Kadia, this is actually insane. The setup potential in the top lane went really well for Benny. The timing of it all comes together, and this is, I'm not sure if we get it more in the replay, but you actually see the damage potential coming out from Cuffin. And again, this Lord is going to be pushing in, but they do have a great lineup to go ahead and try to defend. They have to avoid Kid X. He doesn't have the flicker this time, but the base turrets are going to be worked on, and now the Lord comes up on the top side. They're going to jump in and focus on these base turrets, trying to expose the base the best they can, but look at the clear speed that I'm talking about. Cuffin clearing things out alone just with those bad impacts. Here's the conceal.
Okay, they're going to try and go for a pick-off here as they destroy the mid lane turret. One base turret left for Twisted Minds. Falcon Esports still hasn't committed anything yet, but Saki goes in with her Shatter, casting Prime the counter-attack coming in from Falcon Esports is just too much. Uigi Shadow Kill paired up with every single damage Falcon can bring will take down Hoda and Sanji, but Royal Milk
Royal
a
Milk.
bit too over-aggressive there, but Falcon Esports, they got what they wanted. All base turrets are now taken down, and the lead has now gone to 10K for Falcon.
Took a mouthful of bats, man, and that's what I'm talking about. As long as Cuffin is fine, you're clear in your defense. Strengths are going to be there.
Took a mouthful of Falcon dick.
Can they do that? We're reaching the point of 15 minutes in the game. He's definitely got more stacks than the 180 we talked about earlier. But that's the thing, too. Even the items are being locked in. You know, he's got that Wishing Lantern, too, Lightning Truncheon, Glowing Wand. He's where he needs to be. And as long as he's safe in the back line, and if Falcon Esports isn't able to catch Cuffin out, then that's great for Twisted Minds. But that's also the double-edged sword to it, you know? Here we go, 269 stats, 271. He's stacked up. He's feeling good. And so that's the thing, if Falcon Esports, if they do get rid of Cuffin, that's the double-edged sword to it. They lose a ton of damage for Twisted Minds lineup.
Yeah, and Cuffin right now, they're even giving the Sicilian the purple buff, so expect a lot coming in from this.
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Even with like 300-400 stacks on a Sicilian, like you're waiting on Falcons to make a mistake if they're patient.
Esports has to prioritize later on. But so far, so good for Falcon Esports. A 9K gold lead. They're just gonna wait. They're just gonna wait for this Lord once again, or they can pull off another amazing play up top, like what they did when they used the overaggression of Twisted Minds to their advantage. The circling eagle flicker combination just to try and bring down Benny. But the problem is Falcon Esports was able to turn things around.
I wonder if that's the play here. You know, that's the IQ play from Twisted Minds. Guys, just give up the Lord. Let's just rely and just put all of our hope in Cuffin, but it looks like they actually want to go for this, but they're too late.
Okay, Falcon Esports get the Lord. Implosion once again coming in from Kid X, gonna catch Sanji, and that's all the way to the back line. Trying to go for the flank, but Sanji with the
Bye, Sicilian.
Here comes a winter play count for Twisted Minds, but the damage coming in from Falcon Esports just too much. Royal Milk once again will be the sacrificial lamb in exchange for Hoda.
Oh wow, he
very
ice
favorable
crowned.
trade once again for Falcon Esports.
Oh, Troll going for it. They want to delay the recall from Falcon Esports, but Twisted Minds, they lose Hoda, but they're still in the game. Cuffin's gonna be fine. He's gonna clear out this mid lane. Lord is pushing down that, so they're gonna try to stall it out the best they can. But the fact that Falcon Esports doesn't have Royal Milk, it's a little tough.
Dax.
Oh! Damn!
Gets deleted by Twisted Minds.
Motherfucking Dax just jumped in like he lost his mind.
Now it's not.
This isn't the bathroom. Excuse me, guys.
They haven't solved the problem of how to get Cuffin. I mean, Dax tried to go with the weakest shadow. The problem was that instantaneously bursted down by Saano and the rest of Twisted Minds. And this might be the opening as Kid X already commits his implosion. Oh, this might be a green light for Twisted Minds, but Benny wants to answer right back, though. The stacks aren't there yet, and Falcon Esports' lead slowly diminishing.
Oh, man, I just, you know, if Twisted Minds just continues to do this, stack up and punish Falcon Esports, I mean, think about how much gold
Imagine
they just got,
losing based off of that.
What they did. Yeah, about 4,000 or 5,000
Give me a second,
gold.
BRB.
And yes, all the you can actually defend this type of game with this kind of lineup, keep things together. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get in a position to actually contest a Lord, but if they do, because they showed signs, they kind of showed interest in doing it the last one, they were just a little bit too late because they got to manage these waves pushing in. But But if they actually get into a position where, again, a one bat impact is taken down, what, half your health bars from Falcon Esports, it's going to make you think twice. Especially the fact that then you consider the two junglers and, you know, Dax, he just got checked, man. That was literally a punch in the face. Looks like, again, they're just going to have to manage the waves while they wait for this Lord.
Who got the purple buff? Was it Dax?
Oh, yeah. Dax and PS. This is expected from Twisted Minds. You really aren't going to have that much space to work with in your jungle.
So now Twisted Minds, again, the question is, will they contest? As you mentioned, they have the capabilities to do so. A good Spear of Alpha, Circling Eagle, Guiding Wind combination, and just back away. If they don't manage to out-retry, Falcon Esports might do the job.
Slow hand Dax.
They have a ceiling, they can actually just try and defend this once again. Just try to avoid KidX's Implosion Flicker play.
This is where it comes in clutch, too. The fact that they got 3 Winter's Crowns. You got an Immortality for Sanji, and then, of course, you got the Wind of Nature for Sano. So they have so much utility, so much defensiveness that they can rely on. Falcon Esports, given the lead that they have, it's more so of how do they approach the fight? How do you solve the puzzle of what Twisted Minds is bringing?
You're not going to be able to do it without Sicilian, that's for fucking sure.
Control of this Lord, starting it up, you have those waves.
Now they see that Sicilian's back at the base, they're going to go 110% on this Lord.
Again to just go ahead and wait in the base, but they get close enough.
Okay, Troll has the flicker. Here comes KDX with the Implosion play. A lot of members from Falcon Esports will get knocked off, but Dax will still get the Lord as Hoda will fall down as well. A skill 3 coming in from Sano. They're trying to fight.
Whoa, shit! Run! Those bitches are crazy!
Plus KDX, PX7 is left to fend for themselves. They have a lot of turrets in the middle lane, but Twisted Minds, they have 3 members ready to end the game.
Right now, they're going to march down.
Wow.
It's quite a beefy Lord. If you see that shot,
It's the fucking Vexana with Big Brother Lord.
PX7 also.
Damn, look at the damage!
PX7 is trying to be able to get away as Sano picks up the kill.
But that might be enough time ball for Falcon Esports, because in 12 seconds, Dax will stay alive. A Royal Milk will also respawn. But Twisted Minds at this point of the game, you'd be happy with whatever you get, and in that point, they got 4 kills.
Motherfucking Cuffin is taking big boy dumps on Falcon right now.
And on top of that, Sano remains deathless. Cuffin remains deathless, still has the Purify, I believe still has the Winter Crown. So Twisted Minds can engage once again up against Falcons Esports.
We're back to where we started, Ingan. You know, 21 minutes in, it's the stalemate. But hey, Twisted Minds has been doing work. And that is, again, now we find ourselves, you know, swapping some items in and out. That's a Holy Crystal picked up by Cuffin. And, you know, a lot of the winner crowns.
He's targeting Alpha so that Alpha can't get the retry off.
I would say. So for this point of the game, comes down to it. Sanji goes in.
With the Urge Shatter Flicker combination, but the crossbow of time will be cast as well. Primal Wrath just to evade that. Look at the Spear of Alpha coming in from Hoda, but the KDX with the Implosion gonna be taken down by Cuffin with a Bat Impact.
Y'all took too long. Fucking Sicilian has reached his goddamn final form.
End the game, but Twisted Minds just staying on the defense with Cuffin, with Sano. No casualties for Twisted Minds.
This is what we expected with two teams who just shocked the world watching yesterday in day 1 of the Swiss stage, and now here we are, 485 stacks. This guy is built. He's built diff at this point, Ingan.
He's geared up. He's ready to fight. One Bat Impact might be enough to take down half the squad of Falcon Esports. So right now, Falcon is resulting to the macro game. They want to try and create split pushes from the opposite lanes. They want to try and control where Twisted Minds can go and get an advantage.
Almost 500 stacks. Sicilian is throwing down fucking planets on these bitches.
They could go all in at any given moment.
The part of this is still the fact that managing your waves. You know, for Twisted Minds, they have the Lord this time spawning up there on the top side. I wouldn't be surprised too if Falcon Esports takes a different approach to things.
Bro,
you know,
go for Lord.
The long side of the lane puts pressure there for a response from Twisted Minds. It looks like that's the idea. So this is where, you know, the adjustments, the game knowledge, and how you handle this macro decision is going to come into play. That bottom wave pushing in a little bit slightly. Kid X still there on the bottom side too. Benny waiting patiently, and Royal Milk
Yeah.
will start to give some of the information. It looks like Twisted Minds will rotate on up. You got 4 winner crowns now, plus that immortality.
I don't think Juan backdoors fast enough, though. I feel like Haya would do a better backdoor, no? Because then you can't just send anybody to counter him. You're going to have to send somebody else, because then Hayabusa can come in with the shadow kill.
Have secured 4 lords for themselves, but the problem
But
is
if you send Hayabusa to try to backdoor, if they notice it, they're going to know immediately that Hayabusa's not at the Lord.
So if you're Falcon Esports, do you try and bait out the Lord? Do you try and... What do you do? Since you can't go to the backline, since you can't reach Coffin, especially with the presence of Troll, who is on point, by the way, with how he's playing this Mathilda, because so far his damage dealers are yet to be taken down.
Well, look at this. They're actually going to be the ones to start it up. Hoda can't just hold
there
it
it goes. There it goes. They see it, though.
But also from the Lord. Benny on the bottom side. It's going to clear that wave out. Cuffman is still there, so we should be able to manage it. Lords at half health might find themselves in a position where it has to be given up. Royal Milk still has that immortality.
Sicilian's not part of the fight. Engage.
Here we go.
Engage, you dizzy cunts.
A setup himself with the implosion.
Goes in with Spirit Alpha, but Troll gets the Lord away from Falcon Esports, and now they're mad. They want to go for bodies, taking down Troll as well. Sanji might be able to survive this, but
oh no, down goes.
But they managed to take down Betty as well. A 3-for-1 trade for Falcon Esports, but Twisted Mind, they still have Coffin, they still have Zano, and they got the Lord.
That was a smart play. That was a really smart play. Fucking threaten the back door. As soon as somebody goes to answer it, immediately go for the fucking Lord, because they didn't have... I don't know why you sent Sicilian. Well, I guess Sicilian's got the best clear.
Chasing off PX7 and Kid X. Not the positioning you're looking for here. They're going to wait a little bit longer for the rest of the team to come up. Whoa!
God damn, run, kid!
Still hasn't been popped up yet. But that's scary. One catch from Coffin and Saano can do the job to bring down Falcon Esports. Now their Lord is still up. 9 seconds before Troll respawns once again, but we have to commend what this Mathilda has been doing. Saving Saano, saving Coffin from harm's way, getting and stealing the Lord away from Falcon Esports, keeping the hopes and dreams of Twisted Mind still alive.
Oh, Bruno!
They're trying to go for Saano, though. He still has his immortality. But the bats impact, and Sacrament Clutch is too much to handle. Look at the shield Saano is getting. Eagle. The counter attack coming in from Twisted Mind. Just really bringing the damage onto Falcon Esports. That's 2 members down. And Twisted Minds, they have the chance to end this right away.
Still going to be putting the pressure there. Finally, on this side of the map, Twisted Minds, they've done work. They've stayed disciplined. They stayed consistent, and now they're knocking on the base turrets of Falcon Esports. So it's 3 members still. Quite long death timers here for Falcon Esports to deal with. You saw how much utility is thrown
40 seconds, bro. Hold the line!
So Soda goes in with Spear of Alpha. Still no ultimates from Kid X, though. Are they going to be able to defend this? Here comes the implosion connecting onto 3, but
it's over.
PX7's immortality will be popped. Look at the damage coming for the Vats. In fact, Soda is going to fall down as well. Crossbow attack is there for the Winter Crown. Will disable the ultimate. 2 members for Falcon Esports left to defend. Twisted Minds, they still don't have minions. Minions in the middle lane approaching. This is risky.
15 seconds.
Okay, back.
Bye.
PX7 gonna bring him down, and Twisted Minds, the rising region of Mena.
Wow, Twisted Minds.
What a comeback from Twisted Minds. Off of the fact that you have, I don't even know how many stacks Cuffin had, but man.
Too much.
Too many. Not enough. Whatever it was, we knew this pick was something that this region loves, and Twisted Minds comes out with a victory. After repeated defenses, they keep it together, and after a Lord take from Troll, they take this and they get the victory. Definitely an amazing game, an amazing just show of strength from Twisted Minds. And the mind behind them, too. Big shout out to Coach Lyric. But our panelists, let's hear what they have on their mind about this game.
My only problem is that this type of draft, this type of late game synergy, it does not work against good C teams.
I got my wish. We talked about this beforehand, folks. It's time to whip out the PPs again. Prediction popsicles. We talked about it beforehand, what our predictions were heading into this series. I predicted Twisted Minds.
I, on the other hand, predicted for my Burmese brethren. I said Falcon. A lot more talk about how they played here, but hey, Sera.
I had to make sure that it was an honest. I kept it to my guy. I went for Twisted Minds on this one. And honestly, I definitely thought that their draft, it was going to be tough, but geez, what a game.
Well, Leo, you said something in IESF, coffin season on that Sicilian, and that's exactly what popped up here. Let's go on over to stage to hear from Twisted Minds.
One of the longest games we have witnessed this Swiss stage. Just the
I don't know why, but I really like this dress.
Twisted Minds taking down.
It's got kind of like a Spanish flamenco dancer vibe to it.
I was nervous.
To be honest, I feel nervous because like 30 minutes game.
I've never heard
It was very long.
Yeah.
How do you guys manage to maintain your momentum and your mental state when a game is this long? It was like 25, 26 minutes.
As long we keep Sound and Coffin alive, we can't do anything.
So how did you guys manage to stay disciplined? We know that Falcon was leading in the early game, right? Until Coffin got his items, and then he was just bursting down everybody with like, what, 500 to 600 stacks with Sicilian? So how did you guys manage to stay disciplined throughout that?
Because when we know we have Sicilian, even if we lost the early game, we can manage to pull up the late game.
Okay, now we know that previously when you guys beat Vamos, you guys have actually met Vamos before. This time around, it's a new competitor, right? You have never met Falcon. How did you guys prep for the matchup today?
We saw their games and NPL on the last night. We prepared the draft well, and we managed to win.
I think it did pay off a lot. Now, Sanji, we know that Twisted Minds is not new to the international stage. However, this time around, Twisted Mind is definitely performing greater than ever. Who do you want to contribute this success of Twisted Minds to?
Let us say the coaches.
The coaches.
Oh.
Okay, now one final question.
So me, motherfucker, carrying this team on my fucking back.
To qualify for the knockout stages. Now, is your
His English is so good, it really is.
Because it's a
He doesn't even have a translator up there.
Go full force and just do what you guys have been doing this past 2 days.
Thank you.
So how are you guys going to prepare for your best of 3 tomorrow?
To be a long night.
Long night.
Yeah.
Okay, long night, but don't forget to rest well, okay? Players need to rest well. Now, that is it. Thank you very much to Sanji. I know you're tired. And with that, let us throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this crazy, amazing game.
27 minutes and 7 seconds.
That's a record.
Hell of a titanic match between Twisted Minds and Falcon Esports. Again, I wish that this would be a close game. I did not expect that. And yeah, let's reel it back quickly. You said, Gideon, that the Twisted Minds draft may struggle here. Gotta agree with you. And then we saw that, actually. We were talking about it a lot behind the scenes. Hoda got the short end of the stick in this draft and in the game.
Absolutely. I think without a doubt, Hoda has to
Real quick, while we're in chat.
He's not the main win condition.
Who is this?
Very much
Twitch.
as well as their
Huzzah!
to scale to that late game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they got. So the sacrifice
Is Batman S chest in Twitch?
And relatively good game for Troll as well. Hoda and Sanji face a lot of difficulty in this one, but at the end of the day, yeah, it was a Sicilian and Bruno show. But let's talk about what made the Falcon early to mid game much better compared to Twisted Minds.
They brought out their signature Burmese brawl play style. What was that? A minute and change when they first
he doesn't look like he's here.
Bottom lane.
Oh wait, there he is.
What, 3 or 4
Batman
dudes
S chest.
to try to
Congrats,
take down
you won
everyone
yourself
in that lane, and
a
then set the
skin.
pace. Slowly but surely it was
We'll do
diminishing
one
returns,
for
but they couldn't
YouTube.
close. And you gotta give credit to Twisted Minds. They understood that, you know, what Sanji said was right. As long
Fun
as
fact,
Sicilian,
C9 would have
you
0-2
can
because of
survive
basic.
into the late game. And
King
this is
J,
once you
King
pass
J,
that
are you in
20-minute mark,
YouTube right now?
It became coffin season. I gotta credit our good friend Ray Ash for that. He messaged me, hey man, yo, Chano playing so well. Coffin too. Say Coffin season next time he does well. And here he did. We were watching the timers, right? 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes. Chano and Coffin haven't
Batman
died.
S chest, you already know the deal. Add me in game and throw me your Twitch name in a message.
Better, but also on a fundamental standpoint,
King J, are you here?
Worried about dying early over to Dax. That's why he was willing to sacrifice like 2 or 3 minions sometimes every single wave rotation just so he didn't give that first blood. If not, Chain dying later down the line. But I think generally the biggest problem that we're seeing here coming in from Falcons is the sheer disrespect. They have better engagement tools. They had a much better early game, and not to mention the brawly sort of style actually is more beneficial for Falcons, especially if they're playing towards the gold lane side of the map.
Yeah, it looks like he's AFK.
Uses Inspire. That's a very powerful tool to use early on a short cooldown.
If we could have played back the highlights, which would have lasted like 10 minutes, this was a 30-minute match almost, you would see moments wherein, yes,
all right, we'll do, where is it, this one?
I don't say disrespect, but there was a shortage of respect when it comes to range, damage output, engagement from Twisted Minds, wherein players like Dax, who yesterday was almost flawless on the Bane, here in the Hayabusa, there was like 1 or 2 moments where like, why would you put yourself
Sadia? Sadia, are you here?
It ended up feeling like Groundhog Day, where Falcon were just like, oh, it worked for us in the first 5 minutes. We can keep it up for 10. We can keep it up for 15. Wait a minute, what is this? Why can't we end it? Where's this damage coming from? Wait, let's do it again. Come on, one more time. What the heck, we're dead? The game's been turned around, and it was just Cuffin and Saano saying,
Fuck no, he's not here. Hold on.
Over and over again, we kept surviving.
Well, actually, what was, I can't remember what lord it was, but I think that Twisted Minds actually had a really good opportunity in the game itself, especially when they were funneling into their side of the map. Like, Falcons already had
Rogue Sun YouTube. Rogue Sun YouTube.
Yes, it was a great initiation. It got
I see you in here. There he is. Rogue Sun, you have won one of our giveaways for an epic skin. Go ahead, add me in game, press exclamation point ID, add my main account, and send me a message that includes your YouTube name, please.
That's another thing that adds to it. And Sano slowly building up his reputation to be one of the best.
Pick me, choose me, love me.
You can't just say in MENA, in a specific region, in the world. MVP.
How do I join giveaway in the future? Exclamation point giveaway. Tongfang, you've been here so many times.
That's another one right there. Add that to the dot.
How do you not know how to join these giveaways?
They might have a new poster bar for Kadia at this point, because again, great Bruno plays. I mean, he was even item swapping in the middle of those fights.
I'm not gonna lie, I really kind of don't want to do the duck race, because YouTube. There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people, and there's probably 4 times that as many entries.
Out of the sliding tackle. As we were talking, actually, I started realizing, wait, I'm hearing sliding tackle a lot more from these two behind the scenes, and yeah, that's because Sano made the most out of it.
And that's the way you should be playing, right? I mean, just look at the way that he's positioning himself. He wants to be
Rogue Sun YouTube, listen very carefully. Type in exclamation point ID, add my main account, and send me a message on my main account with your YouTube name. Then I'll be able to mark you, and then if we're not friends already, after 7 days, I'll be able to give you the skin. All right, guys, give me a second here. So we're going to do this a different way. Fuck it, we just won't do a duck race. We'll do it with these ones. 1 second. Fuck it, we just won't do a duck race. We'll do it with these ones. All right, awesome, Rogue. You'll have to give me a second. So all right, we'll do one more. We'll do one more for each. One more for Twitch, one more for YouTube. Twitch. Vita for Twitch. Vita, are you still here? Ooh, I don't see him. He's not here. That sucks. Yeah, I don't see him at the @ page either. All right, next one up. Oh, you see him? I sure as fuck don't. What you mean? I don't want rerolled? Aw, that's sad. He's just here for the vibes. Okay, he doesn't want. Wait, what? Not Vita. We just did Vita. We have to... He won again? Fan of cats. That lovely. Is she here? She sure is. She probably fell asleep. Oh! Oh! She says reroll. Fan of cat, you won a giveaway. It's for a skin. Yeah. Congratulations, fan of cat. Hit me up in game, or you can send me a message in Discord, since we already know each other. But for the most part, you basically just send me a message in game, add me, and then we'll square away the skins. I don't know if we're friends in game. We might be. If not, then you'll have to wait 7 days. All right, let's move on to YouTube. Thank you so much, fan. Let's go on to YouTube. So where was this luck yesterday? Coombs Kichu. Is not here. Oh yeah, he is. Coombs Kichu. Nivek, yeah, I'm kind of excited if that does happen. Coombs Kichu, are you here? Wait, there he is. Coombs, you already won. Stop putting in the code. Coombs, type in. He didn't just join. He's been in there. A lot of people come here and then they don't know if they've joined or not, and they just keep spamming the passcode for it. Saying AFK even though they saw him. Toxic chat. Coombs, go ahead, press exclamation point ID, add my main account, and then send me a message with your YouTube name. Yeah, Coombs? Coombs? A lot of people do that. They think that they're, I don't know. I make it specifically that you have to be part of the chat to win, because we have too many people that just join and fuck off. This is just supposed to be for the community. Can you still gift M6 pass? Unfortunately, the person who won yesterday requested the M6 pass already, so I can only do one. I'm sorry. All right, guys, we'll have more giveaways tomorrow. If you don't know, exclamation point Discord, join my community. You can find out all the things that are going on with it. Tomorrow, I will be casting for the community tournament Moonlight Club semifinals, and then we'll have a stream after that with more giveaways. So hopefully you guys join me for that. For more information on that, go ahead, join our Discord. But yeah, I want to thank all of you guys for coming out. Congratulations to all the winners as well. Batman, fan of cat, Coombs, and everybody else that has won something from me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Tell your friends, thumbs up the streams, subscribe, thumbs up, join, whatever it is for wherever you're at. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate it. And I will check you guys later. I really enjoy your company. But yeah, everybody have a great and safe Black Friday. Try to sleep off all of that turkey that you guys ate tonight. All right. Bye.